Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the AM News on Global Television, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agumofwegbe, reminding our viewers that we are on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has warned the public to disregard a false article circulating online claiming the Commission has released the timetable for the 2027 general election. In a statement via its official channels, INEC described the information as not authentic and should be disregarded in its entirety, stressing that it has not released any official timetable, schedule of activities, or dates for the 2027 general election. The Commission further urged Nigerians, political parties, civil society groups, and all stakeholders to rely on verified INEC channels for official updates, including its official website and verified social media accounts and official press statements. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has lifted the ban on public campaigns in Ekiti State following the release of the final list of candidates for the June 20, 2026 governorship election. The resident electoral commissioner in Ekiti State, Bumi Omoye Yindemi, said the announcement during an engagement with the political party leaders and stakeholders in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital. He confirmed that campaigns would commence on January 21, 2026 and conclude at midnight on June 18, 2026, urging political parties to strictly adhere to the approved timeline. He described the publication of the list as the beginning of a critical phase in the electoral process, calling on political actors to conduct campaigns with maturity and respect for the law. In the meantime, preparations for the forthcoming Federal Capital Territory Area Councils election have entered an advanced stage as the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, announces the commencement of key pre-election activities ahead of the February 21 polls. Resident Electoral Commissioner of INEC in the Federal Capital Territory, Aminu Kasimu Idris, disclosed this while briefing journalists in Abuja on the Commission's level of preparedness for the election. Topsy Gimba has details.
The Resident Electoral Commissioner, INEC FCT Aminu Kasimu Idris, says INEC has concluded major groundwork, including online registration and physical capturing of eligible voters to ensure a smooth and credible electoral process. According to him, the Commission has published over 1 million registered voters who are expected to elect 6 area council chairmen and 62 councillors across the 6 area councils of the Federal Capital Territory.
Let me begin with the area of registration of voters. You will recall that the Commission had a continuous voter registration exercise which started from the 18th of August with the online registration and then became in person on 25th of August. Was scheduled to end on the 8th of October, but the Commission extended it by 4 days and it concluded on the 12th of October.
The INEC boss further announced that the collection of permanent voter cards, PVCs, will commence on Thursday, urging residents to visit designated centers within their respective area councils to collect their cards and participate actively in the electoral process.
We are about to give out all the PVCs that we have, or the new registered voters, as well as those who have not collected from previous CVR. Their PVC is still available. They can collect it within this period. And of course, after Monday, the collection will be strictly done at the area council office, not at the alley.
The Administrative Secretary, INEC FCT, Bimbo Oladujoye, stressed the importance of the PVC collection exercise and call on residents to take ownership of the process by turning out in large numbers. INEC reassured residents of the Abuja of its commitment to delivering a credible area council's election. Topsy Gimba reporting for Global Television News.
An Abuja Federal High Court has ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission to publish the names of candidates submitted by the African Democratic Congress for the February 21 area council elections in the Federal Capital Territory. Justice Mohammed Umar gave the order while delivering judgment in the suit filed by 17 ADC candidates challenging INEC's refusal to grant the party electronic access to upload their details for the polls. In his judgment, Justice Umar held that the evidence presented by the plaintiffs was credible and deserving of weight, adding that the claimants had proved their case beyond reasonable doubt. The federal government has urged Nigerians, professionals, institutions, and the private sector to take shared responsibility for building and protecting the country's global reputation through transparent communication and measurable progress. Minister of Information and National Orientation. We'll take a quick break at this point. We'll bring you the rest of the news shortly. Please stay with us. We sincerely apologize for that glitch with our news broadcasts, and we appreciate your understanding. Let's return to our earlier story now. The federal government has urged Nigerians, professionals, institutions, and the private sector to take shared responsibility for building and protecting the country's global reputation through transparent communication and measurable progress. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, made a call in Abuja at the Nigeria Reputation Summit 2026, where the country's first National Reputation Perception Index, developed by the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, was unveiled. Idris said the index provides a clear picture of how Nigeria is perceived domestically and internationally, while commending the Institute and the Nigerian Reputation Management Group for producing the index after several years of research. He noted that building a national reputation is a long-term process requiring consistency and discipline. The federal government has unveiled a new impact challenge aimed at strengthening outcomes from the 3 Million Man Training Program as it moves to scale up its digital skills initiative. Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, announced the challenge in a post on his X handle, stating that more than 135,000 Nigerians across 3 cohorts have been trained during the pilot phase of the 3 Million Tech Talent, also called 3MTT program. He said community resources have extended learning to over 300,000 learners, while the initiative has contributed to the creation of 15,000 jobs. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says Nigeria is no longer a safe haven for drug traffickers and barons following significant operational successes recorded by the agency over the last 5 years. Chairman of the agency, General Buba Marwa, retired, announced these the awards and commendation ceremony to outstanding staff of the agency in Abuja. Sadatu Garba was there for Global Television News.
At the occasion, General Buba Marwa restates the determination of the NDLEA to bring every drug baron to justice, while it continues to take all necessary measures to intercept illicit drugs coming into Nigeria.
It is therefore heartwarming to note that in the last 5 years, we recorded significant operational successes, including the arrest of 77,792 drug offenders, including 128 identified drug barons who were central to major trafficking networks.
According to the NDLEA chairman, the past 5 years have witnessed a major transformation of the agency, driven by intelligence-led operations, strengthened interagency collaboration, improved welfare, and enhanced capacity building. He commended officers and men for their resilience, courage, and professionalism in the fight against illicit drugs across the country.
I commend the resilience, courage, and professionalism of our personnel who have continued to deliver results despite operational risks and challenges. Your sacrifices have directly contributed to the measurable outcomes recorded by the agency.
While congratulating award recipients, General Marwa warned that the next phase of operations would demand greater tactical sophistication, sustained pressure, and zero tolerance for complacency. He also acknowledged the support of sister security agencies, international partners, civil society organizations, and the media, describing collaboration as key to achieving a drug-free Nigeria. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency says, with renewed mandates and improved resolve, it will continue to protect public health, enhance national security, and safeguard the future of Nigeria's youth. Sadat Garba reporting for Global Television. At the occasion, General Buba Marwa restated the
Thank you so very much, Saidatu. Residents of Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory, FCT, in Abuja, are raising concerns over the continuous hike in recent prices across the city, a situation they now describe as a growing housing crisis. From Lugbe to Kubwa, Gwarimpa to Jahi, tenants say rent increases have become frequent and sudden. Ubong Usoro reports.
Abuja residents say living in the nation's capital is becoming increasingly difficult for average income earners. In some neighborhoods, rents have risen by over 50% within a short period, forcing many families to relocate to distant satellite towns.
The rent has been skyrocketing for a while since this dispensation came into power. So it is no longer affordable for the average individuals who earn a lower salaries because the rent has shot up. But I don't think I think government should weigh into the option so that at least people can be able to have a place to stay. Because the first thing in life is for you to have where to put your head. When you come out, you run around to look for what to eat.
In Abuja now, house rent is not smiling again. Government have to help us because I don't know how much is even people's salary that you can use that kind of amount to pay for house rent.
Housing experts say limited supply of affordable housing coupled with the rapid population growth has worsened the situation, leaving low-income and middle-income earners most affected. Residents are now calling on government authorities to strengthen tenancy regulation, promote affordable housing projects, and improve infrastructure in satellite towns to reduce pressure on the city center. As Abuja continues to expand, residents say urgent action is needed to prevent the housing crisis from worsening. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
You're watching the live broadcast of the AM News. The AM News continues after this weather forecast, plus business, foreign, and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Hello and welcome to the weather forecast. As more moisture continues to move into the central parts of the country, we expect partly cloudy conditions over the southern region extending inland to Kwara, Kogi, and Benue. There are chances of isolated thunderstorms over parts of the coastal cities as well as parts of Ogun, Imo, and Abia State. Meanwhile, moderate dosage passes over parts of Niger, Plateau, and the Federal Capital Territory, with temperatures ranging between 32 and 38 degrees Celsius. Further north, conditions will remain mostly sunny and hazy with hotter temperatures expected ranging from 33 and 38 degrees Celsius. And that's the weather update for now. I'm Safia Sainusa. Thank you for watching.
for staying with us on the AM News. The second part of the news broadcast now returns with business, where the National Board for Technology Incubation, NBTI, a federal government agency under the Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology, has secured financial autonomy with the allocation of 4% of the National Development Levy to the agency under the Tax Reforms Act 2025. Director General of the board, Dr. Kolawole Raji, disclosed this in Abuja at a press briefing to mark his 1 year in office, assuring that financial independence would boost the performance of the agency. The Nigerian naira has recorded depreciation against the United States dollar at the official foreign exchange market. The Central Bank of Nigeria's data showed that the naira fell to 1,420.28 kobo against the dollar, down from 1,417.95 kobo per dollar. This showed that the naira weakened by 2.33 kobo against the dollar on a day-to-day basis. And let's move beyond our shores now. The Congolese army says it has regained control of the South Kivu city of Uvira following the withdrawal of Rwanda-backed M23 rebels. Government sources say pro-Kinshasa Wazalendo fighters entered Uvira's southern district, followed later by Congolese special forces, and authorities declared the city fully recaptured. M23 fighters seized Uvira in early December, but announced last Thursday that they were handing responsibility for the city to the international communities. Providers are warning of a catastrophic collapse of healthcare services in Malawi, a year after United States funding cuts begin undoing a decade of progress against HIV and AIDS, a situation that is leaving some of the most vulnerable with feeling of hopelessness. In the impoverished Southern Africa country, the U.S. government's decision to slash foreign aid in January 2025 has led to significant cuts in HIV treatments, a spike in pregnancies, and a return to discrimination. Here is Raul Nasirio's report.
Chisomo Kwanga, an HIV-positive man who lives in the northern town of Zuzu, said the end of the U.S.-funded specialized care was like a death sentence after his normal provider of life-saving antiretroviral therapy vanished due to budget cuts. He turned to a public hospital. The Family Planning Association of Malawi, a non-governmental organization and cornerstone of rural healthcare, has been forced to ground the mobile clinics that serves as the only medical link for remote villages. The association's executive director, Donald Makwaka, explains.
Several sectors, including the health sector. So it's just an appeal from us as an organization to other donors that are out there, but also to the government when it comes to budgeting, to consider looking at what gaps have been left by the USAID, the withdrawal of USAID funding, so that that person in the rural area does not get affected, because we know we are likely to lose out on all the successes that we have registered.
More than 1 million of AIDS defendants, Malawi's roughly 22 million people lived with HIV, and the United States previously provided 60% of its HIV treatment budget. Globally, researchers estimate that hundreds of thousands of preventable deaths have been caused by the Trump administration's dismantling of U.S. foreign aid, which has upended humanitarian efforts to fight HIV, malaria, and tuberculosis in some of the world's poorest regions. Zahra Unasr, reporting for Global TV.
European allies have continued to rally around Greenland sovereignty, emphasizing that the United States cannot threaten its way to ownership of the semi-autonomous Danish territory. Our correspondent, Deacon Michael, now brings us more on the issue.
European leaders are closing ranks in response to Donald Trump's threat of additional tariff to force the acquisition of Greenland. President Trump has just vowed to follow through on his threat to impose tariff on European countries who oppose his demand to take control of the Greenland. Now, according to Trump, the world is not secure unless the U.S. has complete and total control of Greenland.
I may put a tariff on countries if they don't go along with Greenland, because we need Greenland for national security. So I may do that. I just went one after another. I called Germany. No, we will not do that. They said, no, we're going to put a 25% tariff, which is, by the way, about 7 times more than they would have to pay by raising their drug, like 7 times. This wasn't like a little bit more, 7 times more. And I may do that for Greenland, too. I may put a tariff on countries if they don't go along with Greenland, because we need Greenland for national security. So
now, European leaders are also seeking to diffuse tensions with the United States over the future state of the Greenland, even as Donald Trump has doubled down on his threats to impose extra tariff on the 8 European nations to force the sale of the sprawling island. Keir Starmer warned that the trade war is in no one's interest and denounced Trump's escalation as completely wrong and vowed to find a sustained solution to the crisis.
Denmark is a close ally of the United Kingdom and of the United States, a proud NATO member that has stood shoulder to shoulder with us, including at real human cost in recent decades. Alliances endure because they're built on respect and partnership, not pressure. That is why I said the use of tariffs against allies is completely wrong. It is not the right way to resolve differences within an alliance. Nor is it helpful to frame efforts to strengthen Greenland's security as a justification for economic pressure. Such measures hurt British workers, British businesses, and the British economy. And that is why I've been so clear on this issue.
Now, Trump has said that he will charge a 10% tariff on any goods sent from the UK to the US from 1st February, increasing to 25% from 1st June until a deal is reached to Washington purchase of Greenland from Denmark. And days ago, there was a massive protest in Denmark to show their solidarity against the United States. They are also warning that the US military action in Greenland will spell the end of NATO. But in recent days, Greenland has received a support from European members of the alliance. Some even sent a handful of troops to Greenland last week in a move seen as very symbolic. Edikan Michael reporting from England for Global TV News.
Thank you, Edikan. Let's turn to sport for you. The Super Eagles of Nigeria have climbed to 26th in the latest FIFA Men's World Rankings, their highest position in 16 years, following a strong run at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. Eric Chell's boys were among the biggest movers in January 2026 FIFA ranking, rising 12 places after securing the bronze medal in the continental competition. And that's the AM News for you. Thank you for watching. Remember that we are on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Engage with us across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG as well as other handles as you now see on your screen. I'm Uyi Agmofwebe saying a big thank you to you for watching. Starting shortly is Global Morning.